Hi everyone, Eran Stern here with a special holiday tutorial in which I'll share with you a quick and easy way to animate object in a jumpy and happy way using few of my favorite simulation expressions in After Effects. So as the Outsmart name of the tutorial implies, we are going to explore many cool expressions. Most of them were created by Creative Cow contributing editor and forum host Mr. Dan Eberts. Dan is without a doubt one of my expressions hero, and thanks to his wonderful website motionscript.com I managed to learn most of what I know in this field. We'll get to visit Dan's website later on, but for now let me show you our starting point. This Photoshop illustration, which was made by my brother Yuval, is our main image. A room full of gifts and surprises. What more can a person ask? This is simply one of the best holiday tutorials and we've not even started yet. Okay, I've already imported this image as a composition to After Effects using File Import, Composition, Cropped Layers. The result is that I have control on each one of the layers with its original dimensions. By the way, those layers who were inside the folder in Photoshop came across to After Effects as a pre-comp named Jack. We'll visit this Jack comp momentarily, but first we'll animate the appearance of the gift boxes. Before I'll start, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that I've already changed the layer's anchor point to the bottom of each one. So when we apply the animation, it will all happen from this point. Okay, so what I want to do here is to reveal those gifts in a popping squishy style one after the other. I want to do it quickly because I want to leave me enough time to actually put something inside those boxes. Otherwise, my family will be a little bit disappointed and this may ruin the holiday spirit. Anyway, this is the reason we are going to use some code to create most of the magic for us. But don't worry about writing the code itself. As it happens, I'm too lazy for that. So we'll actually get some of it from within After Effects. And for the rest, which is also the best, this is waiting for us at Dan Ebert's website. So let's begin. I'll go up to the Help menu and choose Expression Reference. Sure you didn't see this one coming, huh? This is a great place to learn about After Effects expression system, and I invite you to read here about expressions basics and expression language reference. However, in this case, I'll just open the expression examples where you'll find that most of them are generously provided by Dan Eberts himself. So let's start with one of my favorites. This is one expression I'm using all the time and it's under this link here, expression example, animation scale at each layer marker. I think the best way to explain it is simply to show it. So I'll select this text and copy the code to my clipboard. Now in my After Effects timeline, I'll select gift number 1 and solo it for a moment. Then I'll press S for scale. Enable an expression by holding down Alt or Option and press on the stopwatch and then paste the data in. Then I'll click away from this window and create a ramp preview. And nothing happens. Why? Because these expressions expect a layer marker in order to start its magic. So at the beginning of the layer, I'll add a marker using the asterisk key on the keyboard numpad. Now when we preview this, we see this wonderful bouncy squashy animation that can be easily controlled using different values for the amplitude, frequency and the decay. This is simply fantastic, and even without reading the full instructions, it is very easy to use and understand. So, knowing that we need a layer marker and maybe some scale keyframes, let's create a quick animation for some of the gifts here using this useful expression. I'll select gift number 1, 4, 5 and 7. And to separate them, let's change the label color to green. And also solo them as well. Now I'll press the asterisk key to create a layer marker for all of them at once, then move 5 frames ahead, and then I will hit Shift, Alt or Option plus the letter S, and this will set a scale keyframe for all the layers at once. Then I'll return to the start of my timeline and zero them all together. Next, we need to apply the expression to the other layers. So select only the word scale for layer 10, which is GIF number 1, when we've already pasted the expression, and then go under the edit menu and select copy expression only. Then press on the green label, and from this menu choose select label group. This will select all our GIF layers which are in the same group with the same label, the same color, and then hit Ctrl or Command V to paste only the expression. Now check the result, and if you want you can slide some of the layers so each one of them will begin in a different time. Wonderful, and very quick as well, but we do need to remember to set a marker for each layer to trigger this expression. This is not a bad thing, as sometimes we need to time the action to happen when we want it. And using this method will work great for such occasions. However, we can even take this further. In order to demonstrate a different approach and also to have some variety in our comp, let's hop over to Dan Ebert's wonderful website, which you can visit by pressing on this link directly from the After Effects help menu, or just by entering the full address motionscript.com. Here I'll scroll down a bit and press on the Mastering Expressions section, and then on the Physical Simulations, and go directly to page 3. Although we are not going to dwell and read the full text descriptions here, I urge you to spend some time and study Dan's expressions. They are written in a clear form and accompanied with the little movies, little illustrations on the side, and all of this should help you to understand the meaning of the code we are about to use. But if you're like me, feeling a little bit like a child here and want to get to the present part as fast as possible, let's not delay it further. Just scroll down to the squash and stretch section and then copy the expression below. Now back in After Effects, select the rest of the GIFs layer and give them all a color label you like. Now turn the solo switch off so we can see all of them. And while they are still selected, let's move 5 frames forward and then press Shift plus Alt or Option and the letter P this time. This will enable a position keyframes to all these layers. Now return to the beginning of the timeline and change only the Y value so all the layers will be out of the frame. Now select one of the layers and press S to isolate the scale values, enable an expression and paste the code you have in memory. Next, let's repeat the stage of copying the expression only, and then select all these layers using their color label and paste the information to them. Now let's preview the result. Once again, you need to offset the layers in the timeline just to create a flowing animation so the GIFs will appear sequentially. Now, for me, I feel that some of the GIFs are wobbling too much in place. We can always change it by selecting the layer, and for some of the instances, let's say for this one, I'll choose GIF number 3 and press EE to see the expression, and I will set a higher value for the decay. This will dry out the animation a little bit sooner. I might do the same treatment for GIF number 2 and GIF number 8. So let's quickly copy my modified expression from GIF number 3 and then paste it again on these layers. Let's preview the results once again. Great, I think it looks super. And now we are ready to see what's going on with that J box we have here. So I'll double click on this comp, and here I already animated the top box to open up. But the question remains, what's inside? Well, let's turn on the eye for the spring and the jack's head layers and move forward a bit, and of course we see that this is Jack's head. Okay, I know you probably anticipated this, but admit it is a little bit funny after all. Good. So now we need to animate Jack's head in a jumpy pendulum style. Believe it or not, but we're going to use more expression to pull this one off as well. First of all, I'll parent the Jack's head layer to the spring layer, so I can work only with one layer. And now I want to exaggerate the movement here, so I will enable expressions for both scale and rotation. For the scale, I'll use the same expression we've started with. So I'll jump back to the host comp for a moment, choose one of the green layers and copy the scale expression from it. Then back in the Jack comp, I'll paste it into the scale of the spring layer. And remember to set a layer marker at the beginning to jumpstart the expression. Nice. We have the initial jumping jack flash, and now let's add the pendulum movement. So back in Dan's web page, let's scroll up and copy this expression. Pendulum with decay. Now, let's go back into After Effects and paste it into the rotation expression field of the spring layer. Fantastic! We can now return to our main comp, and just for laughs, let's add a final funny animation to the whole Jack comp here. I want this comp to jump into place like a bouncing ball, and then after all the gifts are in place, we'll get to see what's in this box. So the easiest way to achieve that is to time remap the Jack layer using a time remap options here, and then add the jumping style animation, which we do, as you probably guessed, with expressions. Yay! So first I'll select the Jack layer, right click on it and choose time, enable time remapping. Then I'll drag the first time remap keyframe to start around 3.5 seconds. So before that point, the box just stands still in place. But we don't want it to stand still, we like it to jump to place. So back in motionscript.com, we have in the same page another great expression which we can use, and the name of it is Make It Bounce. Once again, I want to say thank you, Dan. You really thought of everything, man. Alright, so I'll select the text here and copy it to memory. Then return to After Effects. Select the Jack layer and paste the expression to the position value. Now this will make the box bounce in place, which is very nice, but we want to add additional movement. So at 2 seconds or so, I'll add a position keyframe. And then, back in the start of my comp, I'll drag the x-axis only to move my layer out of the screen. Okay, it is almost perfect, but I think we need to modify the expression a little bit. Maybe we like more oscillations per second, so the jump will seem a little bit more hectic. For that, we need to enter a higher number for the frequency, which is the FREQ, the freak value. I'll set it to 3 and let's test how it looks. Okay, that's great. The only thing that bothers me is that I want to stop this jumping when the box reaches its place. For that, we'll need to animate the decay value. The way to do that is to use an expression slider control. So go to the effect menu and under expression controls add a slider. Now highlight the decay value in the expression field and then pick whip to the slider control. This will make the expression slider control to control the amount of the decay. So now we can add few keyframes to do so. At 2 seconds, set a keyframe with a value of 0 and then move under the time remap keyframe at around 3.5 seconds and set this value to be 1. Since the decay is a function of time, by giving it a higher value here, we are basically shutting it down completely over time. This will of course vary a little bit according to the frames per second you set your timelines to play. So I'll suggest playing with this and seeing what works best for you. In this case, 1 should be enough. And I think it's also a good idea to select these keyframes here and convert them to easy ease by pressing on the F9 key. You may also want to rearrange the gifts in the scene so the main J box will look like it's traveling between the other gifts we have here. In my case, I'll just raise gift number 5 to be at the top of my timeline. Now before I'll generate my final RAM preview, I want to enable motion blur for all the layers except for the background, and this will really sell the effect. Also, I might as well return to the project panel and drag down this text comp which I've already prepared earlier. I will drop it just over our background. This text has a secret message from all of us here in the cow, especially for you. Now we are ready to watch the final render. So guys, I think the message is clear here. We wish you all a happy holiday season. Enjoy your family and friends, eat well and rest. And hopefully, you will also receive lots of presents. If not, remember that the best gift of them all is knowledge. And this is the reason we are here, to share with you our small and little wisdom, and always happy to offer our free advice. In behalf of my family, dear Bessie and myself, we want to wish you only the best and Happy New Year. Until next time we'll meet, this is Ran's turn for CreativeCow.net saying goodbye.